Hello and welcome to another episode of the ScreenShot, the show where we have unfiltered conversations about the issues that we face as young people of Zimbabwe. My name is Melinda and I'm your host. Today we want to talk about the issue of the rising HIV cases in young people of Zimbabwe. And joining me today to have this conversation are two amazing young people from the city of Bulawayo, and I'm going to let them introduce themselves.
Salibonani, Muligabotu, Molweni, Emakaya. My name is Privilege Matema and I'm a young actress under the foundation called Ebenezer School of Arts. I'm also self-employed. Over to you, sir.
Privilege Matema and Wayne, and ngifunda eLupane State University in the accounting and take a part in our outreach programs for AIDS.
Alright, welcome guys. It's nice to have you on the show. So I have to mention also to my audience, Uguti, this episode has been produced by a wonderful young lady called Nicole. She's part of the Side Youth Network program. So she had written an article about rising HIV AIDS cases, and we decided let's bring the article to life. So yeah, kulokhu zeneni ku article kaNicole ubebhale ukuthi age groups zethu yizo ezi affected by HIV and AIDS, and the numbers keep rising. So I think it's an important discussion for us to have. So first and foremost, guys, ngifuna siqalise ngombuzo. What do we understand by the term HIV and AIDS as young people? Tina, what do we understand? Siyaqala ngawe Privi.
Okay, honestly, I believe HIV, yingculaza, aka umzabara.
What about you?
Okay, as for me, right, HIV is a virus actually, like flu. So it's not actually a disease, but it's something that weakens the immune system and it makes you vulnerable to other diseases that take like advantage of that situation actually. Okay. That's what I done.
Okay. So, like I said, ku article ka Nicole bekhulume ngokuthi tina we are the most vulnerable age group when it comes to contracting HIV, and so ngifuna sikhulume ngama reason ona lo ukuthi why is it young people between the age of 15 and 35 ukuthi why is it ukuthi that's the age group enjani eyiyo ebamba iHIV and AIDS the most? What's the reason for that? So sayaqala ngawe Wayne.
So basically the reason for that is, I think it's lack of knowledge or lack of access to information. Like young people, especially at high school, they lack the proper, how could I put it, like the proper access to information to know the consequences of contracting AIDS. And also peer pressure, obviously. People go out, they get into parties, they get drunk and all that, and they don't think about the consequences of tomorrow.
True. Uthini wena Preview?
Alright. Mina sizakhulumela ecaleni lethu njengabatsha, not high school wise. What I've noticed is that thina njengabantu abatsha we're very experimental and exploring. Siyathandwa to explore a lot, which is why it's so easy for us to contract this disease. Right now, people are so sexually active. I'm going to put it out there. No shame. We are so sexually active to the extent that we really want to dive deep in those dark stuff and all of those things, and we forget to protect ourselves. And another thing is trickery and lies. Some of us have partners that really lie to us. Don't you trust me? Don't you trust me? Let's hit it raw. I will marry you after this. I love you, so let's do it. And then boom, you have contracted it.
I like that local part yoga, don't you trust me? Because at some point in our lives, I think stage but if you trust me, you should not be worried about these things. I mean, we're here for life. And also another thing that I mean, every other episode is kulmange social media in one way or another. But sometimes, especially young girls, we tend to look into social media and romanticize what we see there, and then into a lavish lifestyle. So where you're willing to do anything, uzuthole certain things, iPhones, landline, and now you're going to engage in sexual activities, lento zinjalo. And previous lokuzenin guest wakhuluma lapha, she came to Chichi wati it's hard to negotiate for safe sex when you are dating an older man for money.
Exactly.
Yabo. So into ezinjalo akusa you don't have that power. You can't really say, let's do safe sex when you're going to get something in return. Okay, is there anything you want to add?
But at the same time, right, I want to, like, if like ukwazi ukuthi wena you're at risk ukuthi i-health yakho isingaba affected, like yiyo i-main reason abantu kumele bengalo, because nxa wena even ufuna i-iPhone emntwini omdala so formela ulale laye, but nxa ungela proper knowledge of ukuthi kahle kahle i-disease le izangenzani, how does it work, how long is it for, and all that stuff, lokuthi usungayipasa on to ubani, like i-access to that information vele in the first place is the problem.
Okay, ngiyayizwa point yakho.
Okay, it's just to add on really on his point. I really like his point, it's really strong. But then I beg to differ because I really want to attack, maybe I would spare abantu abasemakhaya. I'll be really honest, information is really, really hard for them to get. It's not really as frequent or as accessible like this side. On this side, we are very much exposed to internet. We are very much aware of these things. We have health people coming to tell us, protect, use condoms, try contraceptives, loop, jadel, everything. But then we still want to hit it raw. As we choose whatever we want to do. Which means we do have knowledge, we do have wisdom, but then we don't know how to implement all those things. Or simelele ukuthi uqale wenza kale, ngiqale mbambe istove esichisayo. Xa sengichisiwe sengibese ngithi ngichile, instead of actually using that knowledge or that information that has already been given to me. So the spared people are those who don't have the information. But then Tina, esilai, I don't want to lie. Right now we have people who research. I mean, i-age yethu kathesi asela abo aunt abasitshela ukuthi umuntu uziphatha kanjani kumbe ungafika at a certain age wenza so siya researcher. How do people know about doggy style when our parents ama-80s don't even know about doggy style? It's the internet or we research.
So I'm blaming the internet for this.
Siyayazi ukuthi i-AIDS injani, sila information kodwa singamahlonga nje basifuna ukuziprotect because gcina sesigula imdzabara.
What do you think? Wait.
So like when we have access to information, right?
Yes.
But we can't use it, right?
Yes.
But abantu abakuma rural areas, you're saying they don't have access to such information.
Well, yes. And I can actually defend myself. Okay. Right now we have an instance whereby Katesi we have platforms to express ourselves, right? Ungambe makhaya, do they have institutions whereby kuthiwa come livuye lizothatha ama-condom kumbe buyani lizofunda ngalokho, or here's a tablet today, you can go on the internet and search about doggy style?
No, what I'm saying is that ukuthi karezi emakhaya, right?
Yes.
I know ukuthi i-Ministry of Health like isi-outreach emakhaya, like emathebeleni njengayo isifike I think almost everywhere. Like ama-facilities where you can get ama-condoms agcwele yonke indawo. Wena kapha eBulawayo wazenga?
Mina lesingwazi e-UBH. Ungambe e-UBH yakwanisa ukuthola. Even in Popoma there is a store where they literally have those things there on their shelves for free, which you can go and get if you want.
Emakhaya like the same thing.
I'd like to differ.
As long as there's a hospital.
Anyway, so
I'd like to differ. Because right now, right, I really understand it. The Ministry of Health and has really reached out, like they do go and tell them, please protect it, the resources. What I am saying is the information, like how they access the information, they literally have to wait for the Ministry of Education to go to them. But Giti, we have the phones. Right now you have a phone. You don't have to wait for the Ministry of Education to literally come and give you condoms. You can actually say, where can I get condoms if I really want them?
I think where Wayne is coming from, since you've done these outreaches and so you might have some information on what's going on. So I think...
Because there was actually a research on why people are actually not using condoms and the research proved...
the free ones are pure. Which one?
And it was like, I want because... abantu they like izinto ezile-flavor, izinto ezile-scent njani yabo.
Alright.
So like they're actually planning on ukuthi bewakhiphe ona lana and be introduce I think between marks or something like that.
But I think it makes sense because free condoms are everywhere. You can find them in bars, you find them in clinics, at toilet, but you still find people going to shops to buy more expensive condoms than they get for. Okay, research. Because it makes sense. All right, so guys, let's talk about now living with HIV as a young person, like challenges that are faced by young people who are now living with HIV. For example, in a stigma, you know, because even though time it has moved so different from kudala, I think kulabantu abanga understand you fully till today what it means to live with HIV, and abanye abantu they still have imcabango yabo ukuthi HIV when I can't shake your hand, that type of thinking mentality lana. So let's talk about the challenges of young people now that are living with HIV and AIDS. Wayne.
So as you say, discrimination vele already even esikolo nxa umuntu la sithile ngabakwazi of a situation yakhe lonke la hlele ngasafuna ukuhlala la like canga ukuthi ungamthinta iyakuthelela AIDS yakhona like abantu they lack knowledge futhi ukuthi like how does it work isebenza kanjani and stuff yabo. And also I think in terms of ukuthi umntwana engaba intandane ele AIDS, I think a family is distance from that person yabo. So bese siba emotional distressed njani anxiety. Some people end up killing themselves because like they think AIDS engahle imqede empilweni esale engela lutho njani. But at the same time AIDS, like especially these days, like you can't even tell umuntu ole AIDS.
You can't.
But back in the day wawuthi nxa umuntu ezihambela lapha
kuthe nangiyana ole AIDS
awumbone feel like ongadinga ukuthi uthwale nzima umkhangela. So konokana I feel like karesi sokungcono, but at the same time once umuntu situation yakhe gets out there izinto ziba nzima nje.
What do you think, Priv?
Well, I would just add on to what he said really. Right now discrimination is the major factor, is the major challenge for mina ngizakhulumela abatsha, but then I will talk kuside lethu ngapha emadolobheni angingaze emakhaya ngapha. It has come to a point whereby maybe if someone knows about your status, well, back then they would really discriminate you. They would tell you ungayi kubani ungamkhawuli inwele seziphephuka. But then right now it's social media. People use social media. Once you open up maybe to a sexual partner today, ngiyathatha amapilisi, or a friend sees you, they take it on social media. Send, you're trending. How come ngaziphathanga ababuzi lembali yakho ukuthi wahamba njani ukuthi uzuyicontract. That's leading to people committing suicide, or abanye sebesiba that anger ukuthi fine, if I have this, I am going to spread it as much as I can so that people feel the pain and you feel like. So I basically think that's the major challenge that people face.
Have we ever seen that? Umuntu or spreadayo knowingly, or have you heard stories about that? Umuntu or spreadayo HIV, no? I have. It was not here, but it was in the States. The man of it knew he had HIV, and he did not mind who spread that to every sexual partner. So meaning all those women that he slept with and he didn't use protection, and all of them did not mind. So
but also what disclose such information feel like it's hard.
But when you willingly, knowing you have HIV, and Mina Wayne, when I know I've got HIV, and I willingly sleep with someone without protection, nikwazi mina yena ngilale la engakwazi ukuthi ndle HIV no less.
I think it's a crime vele kwamanye
states. Yes, it is a crime when you even here it's a crime when you know your status and you infect someone knowingly ukuthi
like nxa ungadisclosing status sakho, like let's say you don't know it, right? First 6 months you don't really know what's going on, right? Ku system yakho, then you keep sleeping around with people. How? So is that a crime also?
No, that one when you don't know. You can never know umuntu bekwazi bengekho kwazi yabona. But lo umuntu I admit the case of it, he
but
knew.
Kodwa, yeah, but nxa sebese court like bahle behambe bekhayela ama medical reports like won't what is done and stuff.
They have to.
They have to, yeah.
They have to. But are medical reports available for ilokuzenini?
I don't think so because they are not to be disclosed, I think.
It's such a confidential thing.
But what if my partner have discovered then I want to take you to court? What will happen then?
You have to prove ukuthi ubekwazi ukuthi ulayo.
That's a whole nother
You have to prove ukuthi because la ngathi bengingakwazi ngondheleleyo. So ke sokunjalo. Do we think the government and the schools they do enough to educate young people on HIV and AIDS? Like in our schools, do you think ukuthi they are doing enough, or should we be doing more?
Well, over to you.
Okay, personally, I'm wondering, like the thing that they are doing right, it's okay, right? But I feel like abantu ukuze bezwisise the thing about HIV and AIDS, especially until now we're concentrating on size yethu. So like a peer educator, I think is the best solution. Because kungabuya umuntu omdala ezositshela nge-AIDS thina esikolo sethu vele like akasoze ezwisise from iside yethu yabo plus futhi ngeke uhambe ekhuluma laye or guidance and counseling teacher esikolo nxa as long ukumuntu omdala ongekho ku age group yakho you won't feel comfortable ngokunjani. So I feel like they should like kube le age limit to abantu aba-educate ama-peers abo. Nxa kunga above 35 kube age group lana abakhuma labo. Nxa kuyisize yami nale 22 years, right? So kumele ngibe ngi-educate at least umuntu ole 25 and below. Because ukuze ngifile ngani kanjudge and ngiyabe ngikwazi like uyakwazi what I go through.
Exactly. Yeah. I think really when it comes to our topics njenge sexual health, sexual reproduction, and it's harder really to open up to umuntu ofana nalo mamakho in a way ukuthi sumtshela ukuthi mina ngenza sola so a boyfriend you know how hard it is to tell your mother ukuthi I boyfriend yami ithi ifuna senze so
kuba sexually active ebadaleni like
it's still a bit
bahle bekuthathe as a disrespect.
Yeah.
Because even wakhayela ngini ungaphikisana lo mamakho even wena into oyikhuluma elogical it makes sense. Very the fact that you're winning that conversation
is not it.
It's not right. So ngaba the family meeting about you to date that one.
So when you tini preview, are we doing enough?
Okay, so mina saying ngabasola abantu be government really they're doing the most. I don't want to lie because imagine like what he said ukuthi they've actually done ama outreach programs sebefikile sebehambisile aba facilities aba protection emakhaya yazi emakhaya thi maningi makhulu kangakanani and then uphinde futhi la uyala ukusebenzisa that. I think it's a 50-50 thing. In as much as the government is trying to help us, we should also meet them halfway. We should utilize those things and protect ourselves. We mustn't blame the government because at the end of the day, they are not the ones who are propping us to actually go out there and have sex. We're the ones who are having sex. True. So now they're seeing we are getting sick because we don't know how to do it properly. They are giving us the utilities tina as phone. Right now, the fact that people are saying ukuthi la awakho flavored. So ukuthi yes, liyasisiza, but sifuna ngathi you spice it up. Already I'm helping you, but then you want more. So lat kumele sinjani siba meet halfway and we should be grateful. So yes, the government is doing enough. We should also meet them halfway on that. But
at the same time, right, I feel like information lay should be readily available like everywhere. There should be banners, there should be posters everywhere. Because guys, I think kule injection ngaliyas. I think it's 30 days in. Like you won't be able to infect a PrEP. So how many people do you think know about that?
Yeah, true.
And do you was still free go free?
To be honest, I know that PrEP exists, but like from the context that I know it from, it's like it's given to people who've been like sexually assaulted and just in case and. But I know it's available for abantwana. But mina aqala ukuzwa ngayo for if victims of sexual assault baba like a morning after then le prep ukuthi banjani if possibility of contracting ilokuzenini i-HIV ingabi khona. But kulabanye abantu who really don't have this information at hand. Uqinisile ukuthi there is a window period where you can be
but
safe
it's been
from.
available for a very long time, yabo.
Yeah, it has
so
been.
I feel like in terms of communication they should be more effective and efficient.
I read somewhere about ukuthi kulabanye abantu abanganakekelwayo kakhulu, like they are marginalized people when it comes to izinto ze sexual health, like let's say young sexual workers and like kuzahanjwe ezikolo kuhanjwe ngaphi ngapha, but there's that demographic of people that is what left behind njengalabo abasebenza imisebenzi yona leyo. So I also think ukuthi labo in a way they should be bamele bafakwe even lama drug users because they use needles and stuff like that, and so labo demographic yabo mele njani ifakwe. But we all know what it can be hard. Imagine let's round up lapana city, but we can try. I feel like we can try because kuthiwa njengabo balokhuze. So
sorry, just a minute. Something just clicked in my mind, right? On the government helping, and we're at a point whereby abantu bezim, most of us, and we now have got resources. For example, India, there are people that have got cameras, there are people that have got imali, maybe izinto abangancedisa ngakhona. For example, you guys, you did an outreach program, right? So sometimes I think we should take it as a challenge, as youth, ukuthi let's go out there, laddie, and help. If we see what the government is not helping in certain areas, why should we always konona? Why is konona? Why can't we go and ask abadala ukuthi singaphathisa njani inje semakhaya sibancedise ukuthi bebewazi? These days we print ama t-shirts, siyakwazi ukuprinta nathi ama flyers. As long as it's something that's benefiting the community, we can go out there and help out as well. Not wait for the government, because the government sometimes there are programs omele bawayenze. So let's take the initiative of actually doing it, that as youths.
Yeah, but like when you say balama programs omele bewenze,
halapa we debate la guys,
like the Ministry of Health is solely dedicated to that, you know, right?
Yes.
Like the Ministry of Health and Childcare.
It is.
What is it for, Phil, in the first place?
Okay. I very understand.
That's its main purpose.
That's what they're supposed to do.
You know the funding that they give to them, the budget for Ministry of Health and Childcare.
Okay.
It's too much for them not to use that money.
Maybe we can put it as being a helping hand,
Thank
you know,
you.
until they can't reach everywhere. Maybe being a helping hand here and there, lapha abanye abantu abangekhoyo, like ukuncedisana nje. Tina, if you're going to do it, you're going to be doing it for free. Like, okay, be a friend to someone who has this, you know. Sometimes you can have it on a personal level, because let's say bakwanza form a friendship, form this, so might not be a big thing if only funding, but maybe
in terms of support, I guess.
Yeah, support, because emotional support is a big thing. I think it's we go through a lot. Yeah, sometimes you just you need someone to talk to.
Yeah, no, it's okay.
You just sometimes need someone So guys, we've come to the end of our episode. Ngani pele faster?
Fast.
But did we exhaust all our solutions? Solutions as
well, just to be safe, right? Maybe for the future generations to come, right? I think kumele prepare ukuthi sizabaphathisa kanjani. Ngisase high school, they used to preach on the abstinence part. For laba abangaka indulge, abstain. Then ema church maybe bajalo khuluma ngebala elikhulu elithi celebrate. If you have already indulged in that and you feel like, okay, no, I want to save myself. I want to clear myself from all this. And I want to also respect my future sexual partner. I should celebrate. And then for those who are already in it and can't stop doing it, I think it's also best you take the initiative.
Protect yourself.
We are protector just to be safe.
I don't think it's realistic to think there are teenagers, young people who are not indulging in sex. Because if we have that mentality, preach abstinence, and think izangena, it's so unrealistic.
Abstinence is like ama sexual desires abantu vele you can't umuntu as a sexual desire because it's something ongayicontrol you, right?
Yeah, true.
So into ongayipreacha ukuthi like practice safe sex. Simple.
Okay, sorry, maybe Sunganganisya at some point, but what I'm trying to say, I'm really with you guys, right? But then remember, Wuti, there's also that upcoming generation that has abadala who don't want them to know that knowledge yet. Abangakafi. Of course, we can spell ama teenagers and stuff, but yes, already you now have sexual desires, puberty is going on. We can tell you to practice safe sex. But lava ontanga wasakula, let's continue doing that. Let's continue telling them, and then when they fail and their urges overcome them, we can then tell them, okay, fine, nakama options. Practice safe sex. Go see.
Yeah, but in terms of next generation,
guys, the debate is endless. It's
not a debate. I'm just adding on to what she's saying.
I'm joking.
In next generation, right? Anti vele already slabantu abala AIDS, right? So like abanye when they're giving birth, and you know that's when the child
mother to child.
transfer yakhona iyenzakala kopya. So abanye abantu yakwazi abahambe ezibhedlela for giving birth. So i-process yenaliyana, I think people should be educated uhambe esibhedlela because umntwana sengabambe AIDS. Wena nxa ungekela uhambe esibhedlela ubonga umzala ku midwife wakho. Yabo.
True. That's a very important fact, uqinisile. I think when it comes to knowledge on certain things, you know, into encane ukuhamba usiya check up that can make your child healthy for life. Yabona, it's such a simple thing because it can be prevented. So thank you guys for joining me on this episode. For example, usually I say a lot, but banter was keeping me happy. So thank you guys for joining me. I hope the people at home had an educational experience with us, and we'll see you guys next week. Thank you for watching. Bye.